Ménage à Quoi. The balcony doors were cracked and a warm morning breeze stirred the curtains. Shining yawned, stretching his legs from hips to hooves, swishing his tail in the sheets. Cadance slumbered peacefully at his side. She was so lovely, with the golden sunbeams caressing her pink coat, highlighting the pastel hues of her mane, glistening in the pearlescent spirals of her horn. Even the smeared eyeliner on her cheek was enchanting. But dear Celestia, his head pounded though, wincing as a particularly painful throb shot from the base of his horn behind his eyes. Shining then nuzzled his bride. Memories of the night slowly surfaced. Drinks had flowed of Dionysian proportions, cider, champagne, wine, and harder spirits as well. Had they done body shots off of the kitchen filly? He had danced with her in the empty ballroom and fed her strawberries before the fire. More drinks had followed and they had retired to their chambers. But things became fuzzy there. Nuzzling and cuddling had evolved into a rougher type of play, and at some point she had brought out a bridle and bit. It had gotten kinky. But something else though. A sound like a buzzsaw in a metal drum made Shining jump. The location of the sound made him nearly wet himself. Ever so slowly, he turned to his left. "Oh, Luna's feathers," he whispered in horror. The changeling queen laid sprawled like a frog on a dissection table, nestled so close to him that he could feel the beating of her heart. Her mouth lay open in a morbid display of vampiric dentistry, and at his right, Cadance snuggled closer. Shining swallowed a lump. No way I drank that much," he mentally reassured himself, thoughts racing in a loose battle with his worsening hangover. Fix it! His brain screamed. He placed his hooves to his temples. "Stop yelling," he snapped back, taking a deep breath. "Right, okay. First things first, dispose of the evidence." He looked back to his left at Chrysalis, who had rolled to her side and now buried her face in his neck, murmuring unintelligibly against his coat. "Hide her. Yes, hide her. Good job." He smiled, proud of himself for finding a way over that mental hurdle in this morning's The Hell Happened Olympics.
Darling,
Cadance said, softly stirring. Shining shoved Chrysalis with all of his might. She slid to the floor with an audible thud and thankfully continued to snore. Cadance sat up sharply.
what was that?
She asked, mane askance with the passions of the previous night, the toss and tumble of sleep. Nothing, love, just the wind. He laughed nervously. She smiled lovingly at her husband.
Last night.
She purred. Shining gulped, forcing a grin. Yeah, he replied, the purple of his wife's eyes deepening, her eyelashes fluttering.
You were everywhere. Up and over and in and around.
She giggled like a school filly and nuzzled his muzzle, embracing him tightly. You know me. Eager to please. He said, hoping the smile he plastered on his face was passable for a pleasant expression and not the mockery of emotion that his brain was telling him it indeed was.
I lost myself in you.
She sighed, moving to rise from the bed. Shining leapt up and grabbed the sheet in his teeth with a flourish, yanking it down over the passed-out changeling queen on the floor. Cadance raised an eyebrow. Airing the sheets? He tried, and she arched the other eyebrow.
Brush my mane,
she said, less a request than a command, and strolled to her dressing table, swaying her haunches seductively as she went. Shining took a quick look at the pokey lump beneath the sheets to ensure its immobility and joined his bride. You look like a vision this morning, he told her, using his magic to pick up her favorite brush and slowly ran the bristles gently through her mane, detangling the lover's nest of knots. Cadance closed her eyes and purred, ruffling the feathers of her wings.
You're a liar, my love.
She sighed, tilting her head to the side. Shining watched the lump on the floor via the mirror's reflection. Close your eyes and let's get that makeup off of your gorgeous coat. He continued, rummaging around on her dressing table for the solution. Cadance sighed happily again, feeling the brush work its magic against her scalp. Here, wait. Shining looked back up into the mirror and made a strangled sound in his throat. The white lump of slumbering sheet was gone.
Shining?
Cadance asked. Just keep him close, beautiful, he said hurriedly, carelessly smearing the makeup-removing solution across her eyelids and cheeks, his pink aura sloshing the bottle haphazardly. You don't want that in your eyes.
Then don't put it in my eyes,
she answered, somewhat tensely.
You're acting remarkably strange. Is something wrong?
No, everything's fine. He said, while casting furtive glances about the chambers. There was no sign of Chrysalis. I just want this morning to be—
Cadance, lovely. Thank you so much.
Chrysalis purred, materializing from seemingly thin air and nuzzling his wife behind the ear in a display of intimacy that made his cheeks turn red. Perfect, he finished.
Chrissy, I can't thank you enough for indulging me. So glad that we could clear up that misunderstanding from the wedding in time for this.
Cadance replied with a smile. Shining felt his jaw drop. The Changeling Queen laughed sweetly and returned his wife's smile.
Water under the bridge, my dear,
she said pleasantly, waving a hoof.
And you stallion, put her there.
She held up her foreleg for a hoof bump. Baffled, Shining obliged, and Chrysalis winked.
We really did show her a good time, didn't we? Your form was simple enough, but your style? There were moments where I just had to watch. Bravo, my dearest.
She complimented, clapping her hooves.
Such technique, I hope I emulated it passably enough. Oh, Chrissy, I could hardly tell between the two of you. It was magnificent.
Cadance giggled, and Shining simply stared. Chrysalis chuckled.
Poor dear has the wine flu, I think. Pity. Those are the memories I know I shall cherish for some time. Will you not stay for breakfast?
Cadance asked, and Chrysalis shook her head.
I must decline. I have to get this abundance of love and caring back to my starving ones, lest the little darlings become testy with hunger and start wrecking the castle. We'll stay in touch.
Cadance nodded. Chrysalis blew Shining a kiss and nuzzled Cadance once more. Then she sauntered to the balcony doors, and the strange sound of her odd wings filled the air for several moments. Shining became aware that his mouth was still hanging open. Cadance, he said after a long while. She turned to look at him with a smile.
Yes, darling.
What the buck just happened? He demanded, and Cadance giggled.
Certainly you don't think you're the only one with fantasies?
He stared, and Cadance rolled her eyes.
Oh, come now. I'm sure she'll come back on your birthday.
Damn, imagine that happening to you in the morning. That'd be confusing and very concerning. Anywho, let's get on to our lovely donators. Top donators: TacoCat598, Peter Coulthard, J Tin Man, Darkside, Gauntlet, and Only One Thing. Zar630, Strix, Rayden, Narwhals, Black Moonheart, Drake Lovedragon, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, CrazyColor557, Stu Hex, Will, Dospo, Delta Omega, Jack Cadge, RuneSeth9852, Leslie Prickett, Hunter Norman, Stephen Bingham, LineGuy12, Best Twitch Bits, Jason Alvarado, Discord and Defender, and many more amazing people. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.